Look, if you're a parent, you know that feeling, right? That constant low-level hum of worry in the back of your mind. How do I keep my child safe? Today, we're going to look at a clear path to turn that concern into practical, real-world knowledge. We're diving into injury prevention and first aid. Let's get right into it. So, let me just ask you something straight up. Are you truly prepared for the most common childhood emergencies? And hey, this isn't about creating fear. It's about being ready. Because being ready is what lets you stay calm and act effectively when it matters most. And that question, it really gets to the heart of what we can call the unavoidable worry. It is completely normal to be concerned about accidents. They're just a part of childhood. But that definitely doesn't mean we're helpless. And here's the reality of it. Accidents are, hands down, one of the most common causes of injury in childhood. Now, I'm not saying that to scare you, but just to validate that your concern is totally real. It's a statistical fact of life when you have little ones running around. But okay, right after that dose of reality, here comes the hopeful part. The really good news is that so many of these accidents can be prevented. This isn't about bubble wrapping your kid, It's all about smart, simple awareness. So what are we talking about here specifically? We're talking about the everyday stuff. Falls at home, which can happen in a split second. Burns or choking incidents, often right there in the kitchen. All the scrapes and tumbles from playing outside or doing sports. Heck, even something as routine as getting in the car can be a risk with an improper car seat setup. And of course, water safety is absolutely critical. These are the common scenarios where a little awareness can make all the difference. So if those are the common risks, how do we get ahead of them? Well, that brings us to the whole idea of having a proactive safety plan. The goal here is to anticipate problems, not just react to them after they've already happened. This is where something called pediatric injury prevention counseling comes in. You can basically think of it as a playbook for parents. It's a service that combines two really crucial elements: education on how to reduce risks and practical guidance to get you ready for emergencies.
So you might be wondering, okay, is this for me? And while really any family can benefit, it's especially helpful in a few situations. If you have infants or toddlers or some very active kids or children who are in sports. Same goes if your home has potential risks like stairs or a pool. And honestly, it's for anyone who just wants to make sure their first aid knowledge is up to date.
So, what does a session like this actually involve? Let's take a peek inside. The whole process is designed to be really straightforward and supportive. During a session, you'll pretty much walk through these 4 key steps. First, you'll review your specific environment and your child's daily routines. Then, you get advice that is tailored directly to you, not just some generic tips. Next up is a crucial part. You learn the first aid basics for those common injuries. And finally, you leave with practical resources, things like checklists so the learning can continue at home. One of the most important things you get from a session like this is learning to tell the difference between 2 key situations. You gain the skills to confidently handle common injuries at home, like cuts, bruises, and minor burns. And critically, you also learn to recognize the red flags for serious emergencies, so you know exactly when to get immediate medical help. No more guessing. This all leads us to the ultimate goal, our final section here, moving from a state of constant worry to a state of genuine confidence. So after all this information about preparation and planning, let's ask a really basic question. With all the gadgets and safety products out there, what is the single most important safety measure you can possibly take at home? The answer is beautifully simple: supervision. It's not a product you can buy. It's about presence and awareness. It is the foundation for all other safety measures, and while it costs absolutely nothing, it is priceless. And that really brings us to the core benefit. The outcome isn't just a safer environment. It's an emotional shift for you as a parent. It all comes down to this idea: safer homes, safer play, greater peace of mind. That last part, peace of mind, that's the real prize here. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this final thought. You can buy all the gates, the locks, the alarms, and they're all helpful tools. But the best, most effective safety device in any home will always be a prepared and informed parent. That is the real takeaway.